Hello everyone, in this Tableau tutorial for beginners, we're going to cover installing Tableau, importing data, cleaning data, building visualizations, and publishing them up to Tableau Public. For those of you that are new here, my name is Andy Kriebel. I'm the founder of Next Level Tableau, the only Tableau training membership in the world that provides live training 3 times a week, one-on-one support from me, and an incredible community of over 200 like-minded people to support you along the way and to keep you accountable. If that's what you need, go to nextleveltableau.com and get signed up. Let's get started. The first thing we want to do is install Tableau. And there's 2 different products. Tableau Desktop is what you will use primarily at work because it requires a license. And that allows you to connect with tons of different data sources. That's actually what I'm going to use in this tutorial. But if you're new to Tableau and you're just getting started, go to tableupublic.com. This is the home for the Tableau community and for your portfolio. Go ahead and create an account. It takes 2 seconds to get started. But to install Tableau Public, all you need to do is go up here to the Create option on the upper left and choose Download Tableau Desktop Public Edition. If you haven't already created your account, you're going to need to sign in and then go ahead and download the app, install it, and you're ready to go. Go ahead and launch Tableau, and we're at our welcome screen. Let me quickly take you through this interface. There's 3 main sections to the start screen in Tableau. On the left-hand side, we have all of the ways that we can connect to data. In the middle, we have all of our recent workbooks. Down the bottom, there's some quick start, what Tableau calls accelerators, which are essentially templates. And the right-hand side has other information from the Tableau website. But for us, we want to go ahead and get started by connecting to data. On the left-hand side, these are all of the different options that you can connect to data. Now, there's tons of different options when you want to connect to database-type resources. So down here in this To a Server section, if I click on More, these are all of the different options that are available to me because I have a Tableau Desktop license. If you're using the Tableau Public app, you're not going to see as many of these. But for the purpose of this tutorial, and probably most of the work that you're going to do, Tableau Public is going to be sufficient. The dataset we're going to use is from a fictitious cookie company. And I'd like to thank Kevin Stratford for this data source. He created a wonderful tutorial on learning Power BI. I'll put a link to his video if you're interested in getting started with Power BI as well. The easiest way to connect with data in Tableau is to just drop it onto the interface. But I want to take you step by step through how you do it through this menu on the left-hand side. For us, we're going to be connecting to an Excel file. Click on Microsoft Excel, and Tableau is going to bring up your directory of files. For me, mine are in my Data Sources folder, and I'm going to choose this cookie company data. There's a link to this dataset in the description. Click on Open. Tableau will read that file, and because it's an Excel file, it will bring back over here on the left-hand side each of the different tabs within your workbook. Now, Tableau calls these sheets. You can get a preview of this data by hovering over one of the sheets and clicking on this View Data icon. And we can see, for example, in our orders data set, we have information about the customer, when they placed the order, whether it's a rush shipment, how many were shipped, and the total revenue. And in our customer sheet, we have information about the customer itself. And the first thing I notice is that I have the US and United States, so there's going to be a bit of a conflict. So we're going to need to clean that data up. Let's start by dragging our orders sheet to the right-hand side. Tableau has automatically connected you to this data set, and it gives you a preview of the columns down at the bottom. Now down here, we can see that Tableau has gone ahead and made a best guess at the data types. It has set order ID and customer ID to strings, as I could tell by these ABCs. It picked up order date as a date, cookies shipped as a number, revenue as a number, and then this other option for rush shipments. Now, if we don't want to see a particular column, all we need to do is right-click on it and choose Hide. Now, Tableau has not removed this from your original data source. It's just hidden it from within Tableau. Now, I want to bring in the information about the customer as well. So I'm going to grab my customer sheet on the left-hand side, and I'm going to drag it over to the right. And you can see that Tableau is already trying to build a relationship for me. If I click on this line in between, we'll see down here we have our relationship window. And this is how we can tell Tableau that the data sets connect to each other. I'm not going to go through how these relationships work. I've got other videos inside of Next Level Tableau to help you with that. For now, we're going to leave it as the default that Tableau sets. But we can go ahead and start doing some of our cleanup on our country field. We know that the US has to be replaced by United States. So let's go ahead and click on our little drop down here. We can go ahead and start cleaning the data right inside this preview window. We don't have to go back to our data source. So I'm going to create a calculated field, and I'm going to call this one country name. It has to be a different name than the original field. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to open up a list of all of my functions. Now, I want to use the function called replace, because this will allow me to evaluate one string, look for something, and replace it for something else. So what we want to do is we want to evaluate the country string. We want to look for U period, S period, and replace that with United States. So I'm going to go ahead and just double click on country here to highlight it. And then I'm going to double click on my function on the right-hand side. And Tableau will automatically wrap the field on the left-hand side with that function. So that's just a kind of a quick way to get me started. So we already have our string, and Tableau gives us a preview of what else we need. So in my substring, I'm going to put quotes, U period, S period, and quotes. Now, it's case sensitive, so make sure you do it exactly the way it's in your data set. And I want to replace that with quote United States. And all I need to do is click on OK. And now I have this new column, and all of my country names look good. All right, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and right-click on this country field and go ahead and hide it so that we don't use it by accident. And Tableau has created this as an ABC data type or a string, but I want this actually to be a geographic field. So I'm going to click on that little icon, and I'm going to go down here to geographic role, and I'm going to set it as a country. And now if I just double click on this field inside of Tableau, I'm going to get a map. It's like magic. If you want, you can rename your data source at the top. So I'll call it Uncle Andy's Cookie Company. Now I'm all done with my data preparation, and I'm going to go to my first sheet. Tableau has organized the data into dimensions and measures. Dimensions are things that split up your data, and measures are things that aggregate your data. Let's start by creating a simple map. I'm going to go ahead and double click on country name, and you can see that Tableau gives us a map of the 4 countries that are in the data set. And I want to just go ahead and look at revenue for each country. So I'm going to drag revenue to the color. And there we go. I now have my revenue for each of the 4 countries. Rename the sheet revenue by country. Okay, great. Let's move on to our second sheet. What I want to look at next is the number of cookies and the revenue by month. I'm going to drag the order date field to the columns. And then I'm going to right click on that field. And I'm going to go down to this option down here. You'll see it says a preview of the 8th of May of 2015. Basically, that means give me the entire date. So click on that, and we get an axis here. And we can see by these marks all of the different days that we've had sales. Doesn't tell us how much, but it just tells us that there were sales on that day. We want to first look at the cookies shipped. So I'm going to drag cookies shipped to the rows, and Tableau will automatically give us a line chart. Let's go ahead and rename this sheet Daily Cookies Sold. Excellent. Now we want to reuse this sheet. We want it to look the same, but we want to use revenue instead. So I want to right click on the sheet name at the bottom and choose duplicate. And that creates a copy of that sheet. All I want to do here is I want to replace my cookie shipped with revenue. To do that, all I need to do is grab my revenue field and drop it on top of the cookie shipped field. And Tableau will swap that out. Perfect. Let's rename this sheet as Daily Revenue. The next thing I want to look at is my top customers. I'm going to create a new sheet, and I'm going to drag customer name to the rows, and I'm going to drag revenue to the columns. Up here on the top, I can sort this in descending order. So I'm going to click on that little sort descending icon, and there we go. I now know my sales by customer. Let's double click on that sheet name and call this revenue per customer. Okay, so we're satisfied with that. We can continue to add more sheets if we want, but for now, we have enough to build our first dashboard. Now, before you build your dashboard, make sure you go ahead and save along the way. To save, all you need to do is click on the little save icon. And you have 2 different ways to save the workbook. One is a Tableau workbook and one is a packaged workbook. The difference here is that a packaged workbook also embeds the data within it as well. So I'm going to choose a Tableau packaged workbook. And for now, I'll just save it to my desktop. And I'll call it my cookie sales. Click on Save, and there we go. So now we're ready to build our first dashboard. Go ahead and click on the new dashboard icon down here at the bottom. And Tableau immediately gives us a canvas to start building our dashboard. Now, I have a whole series of videos on how to use containers within Tableau. I'm not going to cover that in this particular video, but I'll put a link to that playlist in the description. For now, we're going to just drop the sheets into the canvas and build our first dashboard. First off, I want to show the dashboard title. So down here on the bottom left, I'm going to click on Show Dashboard Title. Now, it sets the dashboard title to the name of the tab. So I'm going to double click on the tab at the bottom and rename it. I'm going to call it Uncle Andy's Cookie Sales Dashboard. What I want to do next is put my two line charts next to each other. So I'm going to grab a horizontal container, and you can see that I get this other container that turns blue underneath of the title. So I'm going to drop that there. And now this allows me to align the sheets left to right. I'm going to grab the cookie sales sheet and drop it into that container. And I'll grab the daily revenue and I'll drop it to the right-hand side inside that same container. Now, if I want these to be the same size, I can double-click the grabber at the top of one of the sheets to select that container, click on More Options, and then distribute contents evenly. And if I want to make them a bit taller, I can then click on the More Options again, choose Edit Height, and let's say we want to make them 250 high, so I just need to change the size to 250, and there we go. Now we want to add in our map and our revenue per customer. I'm going to drag in another horizontal container. Inside of that same outer container, I'm going to grab my revenue per country, drop it into that container, and I'm going to grab my revenue per customer and drop that in the same container. Now, Tableau added this extra container for some reason that is kind of taking up some of my space, so I'm just going to remove that from the dashboard. So again, if I want to give these equal space, I just click on one of the sheets, double-click on the little grabber at the top, and choose Distribute Contents Evenly. And Tableau has automatically put our revenue color legend up here on the upper right-hand side. So if I want that to be perhaps like underneath of my map, then what I can do is I can grab a vertical container. This allows me to stack things on top of each other and drag it inside my horizontal container. I'm going to grab my map and drag it into that container. And then I'm going to grab my color legend and drag it inside of that vertical container. And I'm good to go. I've now already got a really nice dashboard, but I want to add a bit of an interactivity to it. I want to be able to click on a country and have it update the rest of the sheets. I want to be able to click on a customer and have it filter the dashboard. And this is super, super simple in Tableau. I'm going to go to revenue by country, and all I need to do is click on this little Use as Filter icon. So if I click on Canada, I can now see the daily cookie sales and revenue for Canada, along with my customers that have made purchases in Canada. If I click on the United States, it then filters to the United States. To clear it, I can just click the white space somewhere in the map. And I can do the same thing for my revenue per customer. So I'm going to select that sheet and click on the little Use as Filter icon. And now if I click on a customer, I can see how often they've made purchases and in which countries. If I want to select more than one customer, I can go ahead and lasso them. And now I see the contribution of those customers across my revenue, my cookies sold, and which countries they've made purchases in. So good enough. We've got our first dashboard together. Now we need to publish this up to Tableau Public so that we can show it off to the world. To do that, you're going to go up to Server on the menu, go to Tableau Public, and you want to save to Tableau Public. You may get this error message that says you need to create a data extract. I forgot to do that in this case. So click on OK. Go back to one of your sheets. Right-click on the data source and choose Extract Data. Essentially, that's creating an offline copy of the data. Click on Save Settings, and now you see you have two little database icons here next to the name. That indicates that it's an extract. Let's go back to our dashboard, and let's try to publish again. We want to go up to Server, Tableau Public, and Save to Tableau Public. If you're not already signed in, Tableau will prompt you to go ahead and log into your Tableau Public account. Once the workbook is saved, you'll be brought to the Tableau Public website, and you can see your dashboard right there. Now, you've got a few options once you're in Tableau Public. You have a little gear icon here on the upper right. And this allows you to show it on your profile. So you can toggle that on or off depending on if you want other people to be able to see it. You can show the sheets, which means back here in Tableau, it'll show each of these tabs going across the workbook. But for me, I only want to show the dashboard tab, so I'm going to leave that turned off. And allow access allows other people to download the workbook. Down here at the bottom, you have a little pencil for the details. You can write a more thorough description, or if this was inspired by somebody else, go ahead and include a link to their Tableau public work there as well. All of the same interactivity you had in the Tableau app is now available here on the website. So again, I can lasso some of the customers and everything has filtered down to those customers. And that is your Tableau tutorial for beginners. What I'd love to know in the comments is, what did you like best about this tutorial? That helps me create better content for you each and every time. And if you want to continue to learn more, look in the description for all of the different courses that I offer and membership programs that you can join. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.